Alright, so now that we're done with the bad but watchable, the Final Destination right before this, we finally get Final Destination 5, which to me is a great return to form for a franchise that's so fun and entertaining because, like I said, the last one, the Final Destination, is one that's watchable, but it's bad and it irks me a lot in scenes in the movie. Like, I think it's the most generic and the most boring out of all of them. So I'm so glad we got this one to finish it out, and I don't know if we'll ever get any more Final Destinations. I mean, anything's possible. We just haven't had any announcements for them. But I'm so glad that even if we don't get any more, this is the one that we'll finish on, because if we finished on the Final Destination, I would have been honestly annoyed because it was the most generic out of all of them. But we get to Final Destination 5, which to me it's just as great as the first three. I think that this one is a great return to form. It's so awesome. This has the same plot of every one of them, all five of them, but I think that the characters in this are more interesting than the last one. I think that even though they're horror movie characters, they're not written amazingly, like these actors, I think, like the first three, did a good job of giving something to their performances in case of the writing, because the writing, like I said, isn't something to write home about. It's just generic writing. But I think that these characters in this movie are really fun, and I think that the movie itself is really underrated in the franchise, and it's got a really underrated ending, because I'm gonna fully spoil the ending. I've got to do that because this is what people talk about the most in this movie, the ending. Now, I love how this movie has little nods to it being before the first Final Destination, but it casually, like, I didn't notice it the first time I watched it. Like, there were a couple things where I was like, okay, that's weird. Like, for example, whenever that Isaac guy is looking at the expiration date on this coupon for or gift card for like a massage place, I think it says 2001 is the expiration date, and the last Final Destination was not in 2001. First one was in 2000, so I didn't even put two and two together. But there are moments like that, and then there's a moment where like Molly's listening to a song from like Everclear or something, like a song from the 90s. So, but like all those things, all those little nods, I like how smartly they put him in, but it didn't seem like it was a prequel to the first one, because it could have just been an expired coupon or gift card, and that song could have just been playing on the radio from the 90s. So I like the idea that they casually put in all these little nods to it being a prequel to the first one and called it the fifth one. I thought that was really cool, and I thought that was really, really creative, and I thought that it all the stuff, like whenever Sam works at that French restaurant that like is the one like at the end of the first one, I wasn't thinking that this was a prequel. I was thinking, oh, okay, he's just in the same restaurant or one of the restaurant chains of the place where Carter died in the first one. I thought that was cool. But then whenever it showed the ending where he's going to Paris to work at that place, that blew my mind. I was like, wow, that's so awesome. That's such a cool twist, and it really is cool how subtly they put nods into this movie. And I think that that makes it one of the best ones out of all of them, even though I think 4 out of 5 of them are really close, and just how they're really close in quality for me, or entertainment. I think that besides the fourth one, they're all pretty close to the same level of entertaining. But this one I think has the best ending, because I thought that just blew me away, that this is a prequel to the first one. And I love that they splice footage in of Alex and Carter fighting and everybody getting off the plane. It just shows like Sam from a distance, Sam and Molly looking at them fighting and getting pulled off the plane. And I like too that they also did something different with the premonition at the beginning, because Molly, the main girl character in this movie, doesn't die. And I like how she dies in the premonition. I mean, in the airplane crash at the end of Final Destination, or at the beginning of Final Destination 1. I like how she dies in that plane crash, but I like the idea that she didn't die in the actual premonition. So I like that they have this idea in the movie before the ending where you could take somebody's life who isn't on death's list to keep your remaining life, or give you more remaining life so death doesn't chase after you. And I thought that was really cool. I thought that the characters, there were a couple characters in this movie that were really cool in how they legitimately thought about killing somebody to get their life, to give more of their life so death would stop chasing them. And I thought that was a great addition to this franchise. That was really cool. And I liked how after the plane explodes, I forgot the guy's name, but the character who killed the Roy guy in the machine, or in the shop with the hook, how he killed him and then he got the rest of his life, or the rest of his remaining life. He's at Roy's kind of funeral thing, visitation, and this guy says that Roy was about to die any day now because he had a blood clot so big it was gonna explode, like kill him inside, kill his brain. So, so I like that character just gives a look like I just, even though every Final Destination movie everybody dies either on or off screen, I liked the way that they did that. I thought that was cool that like he did take somebody's life, but then oh no, you're gonna die anyways, which is also a reason to get mad too. But I think like because it's obvious, oh you're gonna die, everybody does in these movies. But I thought that was fun that even though they you know it's gonna happen, I thought that was creative how they did that, where it's just like oh no, he had a blood clot where he was gonna die any day now, so he just got a couple extra days worth of his life, and then the tire falls on him and just blows him up. but this movie out of all of them I think has the best ending. I think that it has really interesting twists like that with taking somebody's life or having Molly not die in the premonition. I thought that was cool. I thought that was cool that they, even though it's the same formula as the other ones, they added little things. And the biggest thing is the ending and how it's a prequel to the first one. That really was cool. That was such a neat surprise that you just did not expect that. And with the subtle nods, you would have thought you did, but they were so subtle and so really well done that you just did not expect this was a prequel. That's really, really cool and a really great way to end this franchise. Like I said, if this is the last one, that's perfectly fine because we got a good one again, because the other one wasn't great. Or the last one wasn't good, but it was watchable. But this one is really entertaining, really watchable with likable characters and a great ending. Or likable characters for the most part. I hated the Isaac character, but he's the douchebag character who you hate in any movie, any horror movie. There's always a douchebag character, but besides him, everybody else is really good. And just with that great ending and these interesting, like these fun characters and fun kills, and it just, I felt like it was a great way to end this franchise. I thought that was cool. You start back at the beginning. It just kind of went full circle in a cool way. So I hope that this, if this is the last one, then that's good. We ended on a great note. And I love talking about this franchise. I'm glad that I watched them again because I really, really loved almost all of them. So I think that this is a really cool franchise, and I'm glad that even if it's done, it had its day and it had a really good record of movies. So a really fun record of movies. So thanks for watching, guys. Talk to you next time.